What is up, guys? Today we're going to be doing my full review of the Bold M1. One of my subscribers asked me to look at the cameras more in depth, so that's what I'm going to do. And I've been using it for almost 2 months now, and I really love this phone. If you guys can find a phone that's better than this at the $200 price point, I'll be surprised. It's just an awesome phone, an awesome experience to have for 200 bucks. Now with the Bold N1, you do have an all glass design, and it's a really beautiful design, very understated, and even if it hits the light in certain angles, you can see like little color patterns in it. It's got the Bold N1 logo at the bottom, a dual camera setup, flash. On the sides you have the power button and volume rocker. On the bottom you have USB Type-C, a headphone jack, and the one single firing speaker. On the side, the SIM tray. On the front, we have a full screen display, and we have a pop-up camera up top. Now let's talk about that dual camera setup first, because I was asked to kind of focus on that. So you have a 16 megapixel, it's a f1.8, a 5 megapixel depth sensor, f2.2, and it shoots in 1080p 30 frames per second. And for the selfie pop-up camera, it's 13 megapixels, f2.0, 1080p 30 frames per second. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the video quality. So we're at the desk right now. I just pretty much switched, and as you can see, this is the Bold M1 video quality. With pretty decent lighting setup. This is the G7, and you can see the video quality is all right. I'm using the mic as well, so you can kind of gauge off of that. So it's pretty decent. I'm not like super blown away or anything, but it is pretty decent. So I don't really have a problem with the video quality indoors. Alright guys, so here's the front facing video quality for the Bold N1, and if it looks a little weird, it's because I have these white lights, but overall I'm satisfied. You can definitely take pictures indoors with this. It's not super grainy, and I'll show you some stills outside as well. So overall I'm pretty satisfied. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the processor. So you have the Helio P60 processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and 128 gigabytes of storage. And it's been fine for me. I have no problem so far. It's been very fast. I did install Nova Launcher just because I like to have that extra customization when I'm setting up my device. But no problems, scrolling, stuff like that, switching applications and all that stuff is just fine. So no issues there. Now when it comes to gaming, if you guys saw my gaming video, you will be capable of doing gaming no problem. So I was really satisfied with that. So it plays games at the highest settings, especially Call of Duty. It plays that, it kills it. PUBG, pretty much anything you throw at it, you will be able to do. So be sure to check that video out if you want to see more gameplay. Now, video consumption is where the Bold N1 shines. I've said this many times. It's got an AMOLED display, 6.4 inches. It does have 403 for the PPI, 1080 by 2340. So you're getting Gorilla Glass 5 on the front as well. So very nice display, very beautiful. Colors are really vibrant, and it's just a really awesome display. So this is a good media consumption device for 200 bucks. You really can't beat it. Now, one thing I've noticed about this phone is that the speakers aren't that great compared to some other speakers. When I tested it against the A50 and a bunch of other phones, when you turn it up high, it kind of does this hissing sound. So hopefully with the Bold N2, the next generation of this, that they'll fix these speakers, because it gets like a real grainy sound when you first hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is very grainy. But overall, these speakers are pretty good. You know, if you're not on the highest settings, you won't get that, or the highest volume, you won't get it. But you know, they're still pretty good even for one speaker. So hopefully they'll add dual speakers to this, and it'll be an almost near perfect device at this $200 price point. The Bold M1 also supports wireless charging, which is one of my favorite features with this phone. You have a 3,500 milliamp battery, and it also supports 18 watt fast charging. And so that wireless charging is actually QI 10 watts as well. So I want to talk about my experience with battery life on here. So if you saw my battery drain test, you'll get about 6 to 7 hours of battery life, which I think is pretty good. You know, I'm getting about 8 to 8 hours and 30 minutes on the Mi 9T. Which has a 4,000 milliamp battery, so this is pretty much on par with what I expected. So you know, if you're a light user, you could even get more than that. So I was pretty satisfied with battery life. Like I said, 6 to 7 hours is fine for most people. That's about a day of use. Alright, so is there anything that I hate about the Bold M1? So there's nothing I actually hate about this phone for $200. Every time I review a phone, I always keep the the price in my mind, so I'll know how to rate it. This phone has everything that I think most people need. It's even going to get Android 10. Now it does not have any IP rating, so if you get this phone wet, it will most likely break. What else doesn't it have? There's no dual speakers. And the single speaker is kind of, it's alright. The fingerprint scanner can be a little bit finicky sometimes, but you have to get used to it. If you do it right, most of the time it'll work. I've heard people complain about it, but you have to kind of press down on it to get it to work every time. But I haven't had any like serious issues with this phone that's just like really annoying. So the only thing I can say that they can really improve on here is the cameras. The cameras are fine. Like I said, it's not gonna blow you away, but I feel like for the price point, it's pretty decent, especially in if you're in good lighting. Also, more people were complaining about the battery life. I didn't have a problem with the battery life. I thought it was fine. For me, since I'm a light user, but if you're a heavy user, you might can kill this phone before the day is over. So that's pretty much it, guys. I will catch you guys in the next video.